For those hoping for a bit more of a peek behind the curtain that is the mystery of WandaVision, episode 4 will surely not disappoint. Does it bust the mystery wide open? No, in fact it creates even more questions. But what good mystery doesn't once you start to pull out the strings? There are spoilers that follow for those that have yet to watch episode 4. Again, I repeat, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers! Alright, is it safe? Good. First and foremost, we get a peek at the moment everyone was snapped back, the blip as it's referred to in the MCU. The episode begins with where Geraldine, finally revealed to be Monica Rambeau, was when the blip happened. So it won't bog you down in the details, but it's an awesome moment for MCU fans to get a peek at. Second, we get to see Randall Park's Agent Wu, whose first scene has a very nice callback to his appearance in Ant-Man and Wasp, and Kat Dennings' Darcy, who's finally back from her extremely long post-Thor the Dark World hiatus, neither of which disappoint in the slightest. Wu arrives on the scene looking for a missing witness relocation subject. More on that in a little bit. Noticing weirdness, he calls in Sword, who sends in Monica Rambeau. This eventually leads to Dennings Darcy being part of a research team getting brought to the location, which we got a peek at when Geraldine/Monica got flung from the reality at the end of the last episode. Third, and probably the biggest thing for the overall MCU moving forward, sans the whole multiverse thing, is we finally get introduced to SWORD. Google to find the new acronym because it's different than the comics. Through SWORD's investigation, we learn more about some of the reality behind the production, quote-unquote, that is the show within a show. For example, the law enforcement seem to have never heard of the town of Westview, even though they're standing right in front of the town's sign. Strange? Yes. Also, there is, in fact, TV signals between all of the cosmic noise. Why? Well, I have my theories. More on that coming up. There's plenty more tidbits for fans of the mystery to grab onto and decode throughout the episode, but we'll stick with what we think are the main ones, which lead us to our next point. After a week of waiting, we finally get to see what happened after Wanda seemingly expelled Geraldine/Monica from the faux reality at the end of the last episode. And it's pretty bold, to say the least. Clearly being established as the fact that Vision is still very much dead from his very creepy appearance, and that Wanda is in some form in control. To what level, we're not quite sure, but we're really not shocked about this given the, rumored source material. If appearances and, now literal chunks of dialogue are to be believed, we are point blank shown and told that this is in fact Wanda who's behind everything. For a show that's so calculated and designed, I have a hard time believing this is more than just a misdirect. With more than half of the season still left in play, after being so secretive the first couple episodes, it's gonna go, hey, look who it is, the villain. Also, Wu showing up at the beginning looking for a person in the witness protection program who's missing, and then just not getting brought up again except for one time briefly later in the episode, I believe is way more than just a coincidence. Mark my words, there will be a larger threat. So now for some concepts introduced in the episode that we're fairly certain are stuff we'd put money on. Thanks to a whiteboard in the sword base, we know that the shape of the bubble is a hexagon. Now why a hexagon? Most people instantly think towards something to do with her hex powers, or something to do with the supernatural, as the hexagon is a symbol vastly appearing across various occult imagery throughout history. And Mephisto is seemingly the internet's choice to be the villain here. But let me pose another theory. Why a hexagon? Because that's the shape of the Universal Neural Teleportation Network first shown in Guardians of the Galaxy. The Universal Neural Teleportation Network is an artificial system of creating wormholes in the space continuum called jump points that enable spaceships to fast travel across the universe by jumping between different planetary systems. Why would one of these be sitting on Earth surrounded by a Wanda reality bubble? Well, ... Remember those TV signals I mentioned earlier? They gotta be going somewhere, right? More on that after this little next thing. So who was Wu looking for? As I've brought up a few times, I can't imagine this is purely coincidence or a throwaway line. I refuse to buy that. So why is what's happening to Wanda happening in Westview? Did she cause it? I don't think so. My guess is whoever that missing person is will be behind things, which leads me to who I think the villain of WandaVision is. Yep. The show point blank told us who they want us to think it is, and that's Wanda. But if you remember, Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't playing Khan. Lost convinced us the smoke monster was actually something cool for a few seasons, and then there's the whole soap opera that took place in a snow globe. That's the thing. But A, for a show that's so purposeful, the TV of it all can't be random. And B, as just stated, no way the first 3 episodes have this giant mystery, and then poof, here's the secret. No way. Not at all. So in my head, TV signals plus Wanda, who's originally from the X-Men franchise, equals Mojo. Who's Mojo? Mojo is an ex-villain. Google him. This ain't that video. Brief description is he's a villain who basically runs a TV network planet and is constantly taking the X-Men and throwing them in his intergalactic TV shows. I mean, heck, his appearance on X-Men the Animated Series is literally called Mojovision. As far as I'm concerned, that's more than enough for me to pin the tail on this donkey. That being said, why would Mojo pick Wanda, or for that matter, all the other people in the town, which we still think are mostly / all of their magic characters, maybe, question mark? Well, for that, we quickly reference the original Avengers film. While Loki was in fact the main villain of the film, we do find out that he is not in fact the main villain of what's to come, and that would be Thanos. Then, Infinity Saga. But I pose this. Could it be that Mojo was approached by another villain as a means to an end? If that's the case, I want to make a slightly bold guess at this moment, but one that may be less bold as time goes on / more is revealed. I know most think Mephisto is behind it all, but, with the multiverse insanity about to ensue, and the very heavily theorized / rumored / probably planned since, before Infinity War, Secret War movie that is supposedly, maybe, possibly, probably on the horizon, can I put forward a different name? And that is the Beyonder. What if Mojo was brought in because Beyonder noticed the beginning of things starting to break apart when Alterna Loki, that's what I'm calling alternate timeline Loki from Endgame and the one who's starring in the upcoming Loki series, got his hands on the Tesseract, which clearly, as stated by the Ancient One earlier in the movie, will destroy things. So, realizing this was the opening he needs, the Beyonder approaches Mojo, who's in search of his next hit show, and introduces him to who Wanda is. This leads to Fox's Quicksilver coming into WandaVision, the multiverse madness in Doctor Strange 2, and whatever start of Spider-Verse we're gonna see in Homecoming 3, because I just can't call it Spider-Man 3, I just can't do it. Anywho, we're loving our first foray back into the MCU in over a year with WandaVision, and if you dig the video, it turns out to be totally 100% right. Wink, wink. Follow the Geektainment TV YouTube and keep an eye for more videos like this and a boat ton more of content for geeks from geeks. Thanks for watching.